Hello everybody. Today we're going to be talking about Bill 354. This is a Kentucky bill. It's been referred to as the Assault Weapons Ban Bill. I know if you've followed social media or followed any news outlet for the last little while, you've probably heard about it. Bill 354 was filed by Jeffrey Donahue. He's actually a representative of District 37 in the state of Kentucky. And what I got here is the summary according to the Kentucky legislature on what the bill is about. According to them, the purpose of this bill is to define assault weapons and large capacity ammunition feeding devices, and to create a new section of the Kentucky Revised Statute Chapter 527 to criminalize possession and transfer of large capacity ammunition feeding devices, and to criminalize the possession of unregistered assault weapons, and to require the owners of registered assault weapons to store the weapons in a manner which renders them inoperable to unauthorized users, and to establish the Assault Weapons Registration Program and Weapons Buyback Program under the Department of Kentucky State Police, and to exempt weapons from the buyback program from prohibitions on the destruction of certain weapons. So we'll get into some of the specifics of the bill. I'm just going to read what the bill says and what Mr. Jeffrey Donahue wants to define an assault weapon as. According to the bill, an assault weapon means a semi-automatic rifle that has the capacity to accept a detachable magazine and has at least one of the following characteristics: a folding or telescopic stock, a pistol grip that protrudes conspicuously beneath the action of the weapon, a second hand grip or a protruding grip that can be held by the non-trigger hand, a thumb hole stock, a suppressor, flash suppressor, muzzle brake, muzzle compensator, or threaded barrel designed to accommodate a flash suppressor, muzzle brake, or muzzle compensator, or a grenade launcher. 2. A semi-automatic shotgun that has at least one of the following characteristics: a folding or telescopic stock, a second hand grip or a protruding grip that can be held by the non-trigger hand, a fixed magazine capacity in excess of 10 rounds, or an ability to accept a detachable magazine. 3. A semi-automatic pistol that has the capacity to accept a detachable magazine and has at least one of the following characteristics: a folding or telescopic stock, a second hand grip or protruding grip that can be held by the non-trigger hand, the capacity to accept a detachable magazine at any location outside of the pistol grip, a threaded barrel capable of accepting a barrel extender, flash suppressor, forward hand grip, or suppressor, a shroud that is attached to or partially or completely encircles the barrel and that permits the shooter to hold the firearm with the non-trigger hand without being burned, or a manufactured weight of 50 ounces or more when the pistol is unloaded. So what does that sound like? That's going to put an end to all the AR pistols. A semi-automatic version of an automatic rifle, shotgun, or firearm, a revolving cylinder shotgun, or conversion kit part or combination of parts from which an assault weapon can be assembled if those parts are in the possession or under the control of the same person. Assault weapon does not include any rifle or shotgun that is manually operated by the bolt, pump, lever, or slide action which has been rendered permanently inoperable, or which is an antique firearm. A semi-automatic rifle that cannot accept a detachable magazine that holds more than 5 rounds of ammunition, or a semi-automatic shotgun that cannot hold more than 5 rounds of ammunition in a fixed or detachable magazine. And then it goes on to define what large capacity ammunition feeding device means. Large capacity ammunition feeding device means a magazine, belt, drum, feed strip, or similar device that has a capacity of or that can be readily restored or converted to accept more than 10 rounds of ammunition, but does not include an attached tubular device designed to accept and capable of operating only with .22 caliber rimfire ammunition, or a feeding device that is a curio or relic. To qualify as a curio or relic feeding device under this subsection, it must be a feeding device that was manufactured at least 50 years prior to the current date, is only capable of being used exclusively in a firearm, rifle, or shotgun that was manufactured at least 50 years prior to the current date, is possessed by an individual who is not prohibited by state or federal law from possessing a firearm. The next section says, on or after the effective date of this section, a person is guilty of possession or transfer of a large capacity ammunition feeding device when he or she knowingly either possesses a large capacity ammunition feeding device, transfers a large capacity ammunition feeding device to another person. Possession or transfer of a large capacity ammunition feeding device is a Class A misdemeanor. This section shall not apply to a person who is a member of the armed forces, a reserve component thereof, or the National Guard, or a law enforcement officer. Any person who may not lawfully possess a large ammunition feeding device on or after the effective date of this act shall, prior to the effective date of this act, remove the large capacity ammunition feeding device from the state, render the large capacity ammunition feeding device permanently inoperable, sell the large capacity ammunition feeding device to a federally licensed firearm dealer, or transfer the large capacity feeding device to law enforcement. Except as provided in subsection 3 of this section, a person is guilty of possession or transfer of an assault weapon, and that's regarding to being a police officer or military. A person is guilty of possession or transfer of an assault weapon when he or she knowingly either possesses an assault weapon or transfers an assault weapon to another person through any means. Possession or transfer of an assault weapon is a Class A misdemeanor. This section shall not apply to a person who's part of the armed forces, military, police. And then it goes on to define what the term permanently inoperable means. As used in this section, permanently inoperable means that the assault weapon is altered in such a manner that it cannot be fired, and that the owner or possessor of the firearm does not possess or have control of the parts necessary to make the firearm operable. So that does away with removing the firing pin. As used in this section, temporary inoperable means that the assault weapon is not in the direct control of the registered owner. It is stored using an integrated design feature or attached accessory that will prevent the use of the weapon by an unauthorized user. Within 1 year after the effective date of this act, a person who lawfully owns any assault weapon, as defined in Section 1 of this Act, on the effective date of the Act, shall register with the Department of Kentucky State Police as a certified owner of each assault weapon that the person elects to continue to possess, and store the weapon with devices which render the weapon inoperable in accordance to subsection 2 of this section. Transfer the assault weapon to any person lawfully entitled to own it or possess the firearm. Transfer the assault weapon to the Department of Kentucky State Police buyback program in accordance with subsection 3. Or render the assault weapon permanently inoperable. Then it goes on to say the Department of Kentucky State Police shall administer a program through which the owners of assault weapons who elect to continue to possess assault weapons more than 1 year after the effective date of this act shall register as the owners of individual assault weapons and receive devices approved by the department and designed to render the weapon inoperable when it is not under the direct control of the registered owner. The department shall administer regulations to administer this program and may establish a fee sufficient to cover the costs of the program. And then the final clause says, nothing in this section shall be construed to allow a certified owner of an assault weapon to transfer an assault weapon to another person after the 1 year period following the effective date of this act has ended. So that's what the bill request 354 in the Kentucky State Legislature that will be considered in January. That was sponsored by Jeffrey Donahue. That's what it reads. I'm not a lawyer or legal expert in any way, but I just wanted to read that to you so you'll know what it says and you can make the decision on your own about what you think about it. If you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, just hit like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.